Hey, have you ever had one of those moments where you're just minding your own business, building something you love, and then someone comes along and tries to ruin it all? That was me, Jake, a guy from Willow Creek, a sleepy little suburb in Ohio, when I crossed paths with Linda, the queen of our neighborhood HOA. Let me take you back to the wildest Tuesday of my life, when I hit a button on a remote and sent my high-tech treehouse rolling down a hill with Linda screaming on the top deck, clutching a mojito like it was her last lifeline. It all started a year ago. I just quit my job designing prefab homes, good money, but soul-crushing deadlines, and moved out to this wooded lot I'd bought cheap at an auction. The plan? Build my dream project? A treehouse that wasn't just some kid's fort, but a legit eco-retreat, fully off-grid, with solar panels, a water purifier, and get this, wheels. Yeah, wheels, hidden under a slick carbon fiber chassis, so I could move it anywhere on my land with a remote. I called it the Eco Haven, my little rebellion against cookie-cutter suburbia. Picture a sleek wooden cabin nestled in a giant maple, with smart lights that dim at sunset, a hydraulic platform that raises it into the branches, and a deck perfect for sipping coffee while deer wander by. It was my sanctuary, my proof that I could build something that mattered. But Linda? Oh, Linda saw it from her McMansion's balcony across the street and decided it was her mission to shut it down. She wasn't just the HOA president, she was the HOA dictator, the kind of person who'd fine you for planting daisies instead of roses. First came the letters, fancy ones with embossed edges, slipped under my gate like eviction notices. Your treehouse disrupts the neighborhood's aesthetic harmony, she wrote, claiming it blocked her view of the stars. Stars. In a suburb with streetlights every 10 feet. I laughed it off, figured she'd get bored. But then the fines started, fake ones, scribbled on neon paper, taped to my mailbox. Unauthorized vertical structure fee, $200. I ignored those, too. My land was outside HOA jurisdiction, and I had the deeds to prove it. Linda didn't take kindly to being ignored. She escalated like a reality TV villain. Held community meetings, called my treehouse a public safety hazard, even tried to slap me with a noise complaint for a wind chime I didn't own. Things got real when I went camping one weekend. Came back to find my gate wide open, fairy lights twinkling on my deck, and a yoga class in full swing inside my treehouse. I'm talking to strangers in Lululemon, lounging on my furniture, while Linda, in a neon green tracksuit, arranged a charcuterie board in my kitchenette. Namaste, Jake, she said, like she was hosting a TED Talk. We've repurposed this space for community wellness. It's too special to be private. I was floored. You broke in? I asked, voice shaking. She just smirked, said something about squatters' rights, and how she disabled my smart lock with a butter knife. Then she waved a hand at her crew, who were burning lavender incense in my reading nook, and said, "Don't worry, we brought our essential oils." I didn't yell, didn't call the cops. I just nodded, backed away, and walked to my truck, where I kept the remote in a locked case under the seat. My heart was pounding, but my brain was crystal clear. Linda wanted to play pirate? Fine. I'd show her what this treehouse could do. I flipped open the case, pressed the activation button, and heard a low hum echo through the woods. The treehouse vibrated, then slowly lowered from the branches like a sci-fi elevator. Linda and her yoga squad didn't notice at first, too busy chanting affirmations. Then the wheels kicked in, and the whole thing started rolling down the hill, following a GPS path I programmed for test runs. I watched it all on my phone app. Internal cameras showed Linda flailing, her mojito splashing everywhere, while her guests screamed and clung to my hammock. One lady dropped her kale smoothie. Another tried to save a potted fern. Linda yelled, "This is illegal," as the speakers played a pre-recorded nature trackbird song, a babbling brook. It was chaos, and I'll admit, I was grinning like a kid on Christmas. From my truck, I saw the treehouse glide through my backwoods trail, over a little bridge, and into the forest buffer zone. Safe? Totally. I'd built it with padded interiors, emergency stops, even a stocked fridge. But Linda didn't know that. She was trapped in her own stolen castle, chauffeured by the guy she tried to bully. I leaned back, sipping a soda, feeling a kind of peace I hadn't felt in years. Skarmic, delicious peace, with wheels. Word spread fast. Linda's husband, Carl, a nervous guy who always looked 2 seconds from a heart attack, called 911, stammering, "My wife's in a runaway treehouse." Neighbors gathered, some laughing, others live streaming. My buddy Tom flew his drone overhead, catching footage of Linda banging on the glass door, yelling about lawsuits. Then a news van showed up, and the reporter, barely hiding a smirk, called it a rolling hostage situation. By sunset, the treehouse parked itself at a clearing I'd named Sunset Point, where it played a calm voiceover. Welcome to your eco-retreat. Did you know local owls can turn their heads 270 degrees? Linda threw a yoga mat at the speaker. I let them stew for an hour, then sent the treehouse back. When it rolled into view, the crowd cheered like it was a parade float. Linda stumbled out, hair full of leaves, sweater streaked with dirt, and marched home without a word, Carl trailing behind like a lost puppy. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. The next morning, the footage went viral. Reddit dubbed me Remote Jake. TikTok turned Linda into HOA Bandit. Memes showed her face on roller coasters, captioned, "Next stop, Karma." Linda fought back, holding a press conference in her yard, wearing a neck brace claiming I'd kidnapped her. "Jake used military-grade tech to terrorize me," she wailed. But her friend Susan, who'd been in the treehouse, muttered, "It had snacks, Linda. Relax." That clip hit 10 million views in a day. I wasn't just some prankster, though. The treehouse was part of a federal grant for sustainable housing, a prototype for disaster relief shelters. Linda's stunt gave me real-world data how it handled chaos, how people reacted. My grant team was thrilled, and suddenly, I had offers. Venture capital, a travel company wanting 10 units, even a Netflix scout. Meanwhile, Linda's world collapsed. County audits exposed her fake permits, her misuse of HOA funds for a tacky backyard gazebo. She was ousted from the HOA, her gazebo was torn down, and neighbors started calling her Treehouse Linda behind her back. But Linda wasn't done. One night, months later, I heard gravel crunch outside. Camera feed showed her, in a rhinestone hoodie, trying to climb my deck with a dollar store rope ladder. It snapped, and she face-planted into a bush, cursing like a sailor. Undeterred, she snuck up the back stairs, slipped inside, and started posing for a selfie on my hammock. Classic Linda. I hit the deterrent protocol. Lights turned red, windows locked, and my voice boomed. Unauthorized access. Leave now. She screamed, dropped her phone, and ran into my thermos, spilling tea everywhere. I played her greatest hit, her press conference, her rant on the wall screen. Then the wheels hummed, and the treehouse rolled again, back to Sunset Point. This time, Linda didn't fight. She sat on the deck, hugging her bag, looking broken. I drove out at dawn, brought the treehouse back, and opened the door. She stared at me, eyes red, and whispered, "I just wanted things to be like before you showed up." I almost felt sorry for her almost. Then she added, "Before your stupid gadget," and I called her sister to pick her up. They drove off, and that was that. Willow Creek changed after that. The HOA got new leadership, neighbors started waving, and even brought me pies. I built a community garden shed based on the treehouse design, and folks loved it. Linda? She's a local legend now, the cautionary tale of what happens when you mess with someone's dream. She sent me a note once, scribbled in curt. "I was wrong. Don't expect me to say it again." I keep it in a drawer, next to the Eco Haven's blueprints. But I know Linda. She's out there, maybe plotting, licking her wounds. And if she comes back, my treehouse is ready: new locks, a foghorn alarm, and a few surprises I won't spoil. So what do you think? Was I too harsh, or did Linda get what she deserved? Drop a comment, share your own HOA horror stories. Let's talk about it, because out here, in the suburbs, the real battles aren't fought with fists. They're fighting with remotes.